The sound of keystrokes echoed through the small room, where the walls were lined with monitors flickering with lines of code and complex graphs. Amid the pale light of the screens, Ethan, a 22-year-old hacker, spent his nights immersed in the vast expanse of the dark web. With a mix of curiosity and rebellion, he ventured into digital paths where few dared to tread. He wasn't just searching for information. Ethan was hunting for secrets, something the world had forgotten or hidden away. One night, while exploring an obscure forum, Ethan stumbled upon an encrypted file unlike anything he had ever seen. The file, simply titled "The Key," was protected by a code that seemed to defy any modern logic. Intrigued, he began working on the decryption, facing a series of obstacles that forced him to use every bit of his technical knowledge. However, as he made progress, he felt like he was uncovering something that perhaps should have remained hidden. Finally, after days of relentless work, Ethan managed to access the file's contents. Instead of conventional data, the file contained an enigmatic binary code, accompanied by instructions in an archaic language. Curiosity getting the better of him, he decided to run the code in a virtual, isolated environment. As soon as he did, everything around him changed. Ethan felt a sudden dizziness, and when he opened his eyes, he was no longer in his room. He found himself in a dark, cold room, the stone walls adorned with tapestries that seemed to belong to a distant era. In the center of the room, a marble table supported a large book, open to a page describing an ancient ritual. Ethan realized he was in a medieval library, and through the narrow windows, he could see the flames of torches illuminating a city in the middle of the 15th century. Confused and frightened, Ethan touched the book and was immediately transported to another place. This time, he was in a public square in ancient Rome, where a crowd was listening to a fiery speech by a young orator. The scene was vibrant, but something seemed out of place. As Ethan approached, he realized that the speech was being delivered by none other than Julius Caesar. But as he focused on the details, Ethan noticed that Caesar was holding the same key he had found digitally. The vision vanished before he could comprehend its meaning, and he was once again hurled into another time. As his journeys continued, Ethan began to notice a pattern. He was witnessing pivotal events in world history, moments that defined the course of humanity. But the most unsettling thing was that in each of these moments, the key, or a version of it, was present in the hands of historical figures who seemed to be using its power to shape destiny. From the French Revolution to the rise and fall of future empires, Ethan saw how this key, this symbol, was used to control time and events. During one of these travels, he encountered a mysterious man who introduced himself as Alistair, a member of an ancient secret order known as the Guardians of Time. Alistair revealed that the key Ethan had found was a digital replica of a real artifact, an ancient tool used by the order to manipulate time and ensure that certain events occurred according to their plans. Alistair warned him of the dangers of using such power. Time should not be shaped by mortal hands, boy. Every time we interfere, we create ripples that turn into tsunamis of destruction. Ethan, now aware of the magnitude of what he had uncovered, questioned the morality of the order. "You're telling me you control the fate of humanity? Who gave you that right?" Alistair, with a somber look, merely replied, "We didn't ask for permission. We exist to protect the future." Determined to prevent the key's power from remaining in anyone's hands, Ethan and Alistair formed a tenuous alliance. Together, they traveled to specific moments in time where they needed to undo the changes the Order had imposed over the centuries. Each journey became more dangerous, and Ethan felt the weight of time growing heavier with each passing second, as if every moment was being torn from his life. During one of these missions, Ethan discovered that the Order planned to use the key to trigger a catastrophic event in the future, a global collapse that would result in the rise of a new empire under their absolute control. The revelation left him torn. He could destroy the key and save humanity from this fate, but doing so would erase all the history he knew, plunging the world into the unknown. In the climax of the story, Ethan and Alistair face off against the leader of the Order, a man whose identity had been lost in time, but whose actions had shaped humanity for millennia. The confrontation takes place in a collapsed timeline, where past, present, and future intertwine in a storm of chaos. Ethan, finally understanding the true power of the key, decides to use it one last time, not to manipulate time, but to free humanity from its influence. He destroys the key, and with it, all the temporal manipulations crumble. Time resets itself, erasing the anomalies and restoring the natural balance. Ethan returns to his present, but everything has changed. The world is different. The people he knew have no memory of the alternate timelines, and the key is just a forgotten legend. As Ethan walks through the streets of a vibrant, bustling city, he feels at peace. He realizes that, although time is an unforgiving current, the future should be shaped by the free choices of each individual, not by the control of a secret order. The mystery of the key remains, but now it is a tale lost in the pages of history, where Ethan, for a brief moment, was the guardian of time.